How's it going, guys? It is Blake here from theavidentries.com. So here it is, I guess the second of the three vlogs that I had planned for this month, basically. Well, I wouldn't say for this month, but I kind of wanted to do three kind of update vlogs for you guys. The first one, which came out last week, was basically a vlog, just kind of what did I go over? It's kind of just a recap vlog for things that have been going on this year so far, kind of going over like how this year has been going so far, since, we're in like the final quarter of 2017, and I wanted to tease a little bit of upcoming stuff that was coming up on the sanctuary.theavidentries.com, which is now out, and now I kind of want to use this vlog to kind of talk about where things are going to be headed with both the sanctuary.theavidentries.com as well as the avidentries.com, up until the end of the year. Hopefully, I can explain as much as I can in a short period of time without, like spoiling anything. Because, I do want people to read this stuff, and I don't want to give everything away or, try and foresee the future, since, the writing, the story process, it changes all the time. So I have no idea where the direction is going to go, really. Things could take a turn tomorrow. So anyway, I definitely did want to focus on a little bit of an explanation as to exactly what's going on in the sanctuaries with the brand new story arc, I guess you can say, that is going on over there, which is fully entitled The Confluence of Paradox over Time, Light over Dark, Shadows over Echoes, and Life over Death. Or you could just say, Paradox and Time, Light and Dark, Shadows and Echoes, or Life and Death. It's a very long full title, I know. But for short, I'm calling it The Confluence, or just Confluence. That's probably what I'll be referencing it as for the most part on social media and stuff like that whenever a new entry is posted, because that's just, the whole title is just too much to post. But yeah, so that's a brand new trilogy story arc that's actually going on over on the Sanctuaries, and I basically wanted to do a vlog kind of detailing what that's all about, and how it ties into how things are going right now. So like I said in the previous vlog, this month actually is the 1 year anniversary of the In-Between. That's right. So the In-Between saga kicked off last October, and so this officially marks the 1 year anniversary of the In-Between. When it comes to these sort of sagas, it's really hard to say if whether or not I'm going to completely leave them behind, or if they'll be able, or if they'll play a role in future sagas. Because Castles, which was originally supposed to be a three-part saga, but actually went on to be a 4-part saga, I believe. Or no, Castles. Was Castles 3 or 4? It was originally supposed to be a 2-part saga, but it ended up being a 3-part saga. Yes, it was supposed to be 2 parts only. It ended up being 3. And I can definitely say the same could happen with the In-Between. But what I'm doing right now with the In-Between, so where things are looking like they're headed right now, is the In-Between will actually, this month, after the end of this month, the In-Between will conclude, and the entire Confluence arc will sort of continue on its own up until the end of the year. Now, I said the Confluence arc is a 3-part arc, which means it is also starting this month, but rather than it being its own exclusive arc, it's also tying in with the In-Between. So I guess you consider October to be a Confluence / In-Between arc, or chapter. It's just going to roll out. Those two are just going to be as one up until the end of the month, and then the rest of the Confluence arc will continue up until the end of the year. So for November, December, that'll be the last 2 arcs for that. And so the way I look at it, or the way I'm looking at it right now, is the Confluence arc is sort of a follow-up to the In-Between. It's not really its own dedicated, separate, standalone thing. Of course, it's not called the In-Between. It's still something different from the In-Between, but it's still sort of a follow-up from the In-Between. Just like how Frontiers was sort of a follow-up from Castles Part 3, or just the Castle Saga in general. Frontiers was sort of a follow-up from that, just like how the prologue Plains was sort of a follow-up from the Ice Cape, as well as a precursor to Castles. So the Confluence is sort of the same sort of thing. And that's kind of been a common trend that I've been doing with a lot of sagas and chapters ever since I started writing on the evidentiaries. So that's kind of how things are going right now, and how things will go up until the end of the month, and then things will sort of split off ways again. Now, over on the evidentiaries.com, a brand new saga is about to kick off. The Darkened Timeline, or the Dark Timeline, that saga is ending. Or I should say that chapter is ending. I keep calling it saga. So that chapter is ending, and a brand new chapter will be beginning this month. It as well is going to be its own three-part story arc. So that'll be continuing through October, November, December. Since I haven't finished writing the first entry for this brand new chapter, for this three-part story arc, I'm not really going to go into much detail as to what exactly it's about. But I will say that it's definitely a trilogy story arc, three-part arc, I should say, that's continuing up until from October to December, and it's also going to have its own, I guess you can say, its own sub-arc for this month only, that's going to tie into the Confluence and the In-Between. And the Confluence and the In-Between for this month only will also get its own sub-arc, that will tie into the evidentiaries sub-arc that's going to be going on for this month as part of that new chapter. If that makes any sense. I know it's really hard to confuse, and that's another reason why I actually wanted to make this video, was because I feel like now I'm sort of taking a really different direction with things, a lot different than what I've done in the past. Actually, it's really not something that I've done in the past. I've done sort of tie-ins between both sites and their current chapters that are going on, but nothing to this extent. Like, this is a much larger extent that I'm doing things, kind of taking a different direction with things. And also, this really means that there's going to be a lot of content constantly going up on the site. So it's going to be a lot of reading, a lot of content, a lot of new stuff is going to be pushed out every single week. Yeah, definitely keep that in mind. I'm trying to think what else I really want to touch on. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just a lot of new stuff. And now that I think about it, it's probably the most amount of content that I'll be pushing out on both sides since I first started, I guess, the places arc, with Ice Cave, Prologue, Plains, and Castles. Like, back then, now that I think about it, it's really not that long ago. But when I say the Castle Saga, I mean like 2012 when it first started. So, I mean, back then, that was a lot of content pretty often. So, this is going to be a lot more, I want to say. Things are going to be updated a lot more frequently. Alongside all of these new arcs that are kicking off, and new chapters, a new saga over on the Sanctuary, which is the Confluence. Also going to be doing, NMVs, nature music videos. A lot of those are on the way. And vlogs for each respective arc and chapter. I'm going to be doing those as well. So just a lot of stuff is on the way. And yeah, I kind of just wanted to push out a vlog kind of explaining what exactly is going on, because I know I said I would update you guys with more information, and the way I kind of push things out is it can be a little bit confusing. Yeah, it's really an interesting direction the way things are going right now. I do feel like these trilogy arcs that will lead us up until the end of the year on both sites. I feel like they definitely play a huge role into my life. I think the theme of them will definitely play a huge role in my life, and just relate to my life a lot more than past sagas and past chapters have. So definitely, I always say that these entries and these sagas and these story arcs, they do tie in a lot from what's going on in like the real world and all that other sort of stuff, but also in other people's lives, but also my life as well. So I definitely feel like these arcs in particular are definitely relating a lot more to me than any of the other past arcs and past sagas that I've written about, at least for a while. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to get that information out there. So the trilogy arc that will be kicking off on the evidentries.com, the new chapter, or you can just call it the trilogy chapter that's kicking off on the evidentries.com, should be up by Thursday afternoon at the very latest. And if I have time later tonight, it'll be up by tomorrow afternoon. So either one of those days, it is coming. I probably won't do a dedicated vlog explaining what that's going to be all about when the new chapter kicks off, just because it's going to be basically the same format as the Confluence. So it's the same 3-part story arc, or it's 3-part chapter arc, we can call it, and except it won't be tied in with any previous chapters over on the Evan entries. It'll just be its own standalone chapter arc, rather than what the Sanctuary is doing, where the Confluence is also being tied in with the Evan entries for this month only. So that's basically all I really wanted to touch on. So the next vlog that is coming soon, hopefully I can get it out before the end of the week, will actually be a content update vlog, and this will kind of be detailing all of the side projects that I'm going to be working on up until the end of the year. And I gotta say that I definitely skimmed my list down a lot more, just because I've decided to hold some stuff off, just because there's a lot of stuff that I really want to do before the end of the year that's also not pertaining to these particular projects. Like, there's other stuff that I want to do, and I just want to make sure I have enough time to do everything. And if there are days where I want to focus solely on one specific thing, I can do that without worrying about, I'm going to be behind in this, I'm going to be behind in that. Rather than focusing on a lot of stuff, it's just going to kind of be 3 or 4 really larger scale side projects that I'll be working on, that I'll definitely be touching on in the content update that'll be coming really soon. So hopefully by the end of the week. So that's pretty much everything that I wanted to touch on for today. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I will see you guys in the next vlog very, very soon. You guys take care and stay tuned for the next entries on both the evidentries.com as well as the Sanctuary. They are coming very, very soon. So I'll see you guys later.